Good evening, sports fans. My name is Crobat for the win, owner of the Los Angeles Nidokings, and today I'm presenting you Week 5 of the GBA versus divisional rival Gubs-tacular of the Arizona D-Oxys. This is a really great match. It's an important one for the team, for the LA Nidokings. We need this victory. We want it bad. We prepped so well for this week. We're ready. Let's jump into it right now. Okay, so he's brought a very threatening team. I actually predicted 5 out of the 6 things on his team, so I think I did pretty well in that regard. I know Landorus is the scariest thing he has. He does lead with it, and that's what I predicted. That's why I led with Tangrowth, which, if he has the Sludge Wave, which we just saw, I knew I could take 3, actually, if he were not Life Orb. I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Ice. He's carrying a Yachi Berry. That's actually fine. Totally fine, because Hidden Power Ice probably wouldn't have KO'd anyways. It would have done maybe 90%. That's totally fine. His item's gone. I already know what this Landorus is carrying, which is really good. He goes for the U-turn, and that's what I half predicted. I predicted that or just another Sludge Wave. Going to Raikou, because Raikou can take anything except for that Earth Power, which he wouldn't have gone for, obviously. He then goes into Snorlax. Snorlax is going to be a pain. I want to scout what kind of Snorlax set this is, so I'm going to go for the substitute. That's the best way to scout with a Raikou, after all. So, yeah, I'm going to switch out because I don't want to take anything that this Snorlax wants to throw. I'm going to go into Tangrowth because Tangrowth got a lot of HP back thanks to Regenerator. He's going to go for a Body Slam. Going to get a knockoff off on the Snorlax. That's pretty important. If it were AV, that would have been really important, but it's just leftover, so it's not as good. But he gets the Body Slam Para.
First down from the 42. Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground, covered by the Raiders.
That does look really bad getting that para right there for our team. Tangrowth is vital to winning this game. I need him every step of the way here. So it's not good. I get a Parahax right there too, which that stinks. So this might not be looking too good. We'll see what happens, I guess. I'm going to go into Entei as I know I can deal with this Mawile. I've got a nice defensive Entei here. It's going to take anything Mawile wants to go for. He goes for a sub. That pretty much leads me to believe it's going to be a sub-punching Mega Mawile. Not a fan of that because Empoleon doesn't like sub-punch very much. But I know Entei can definitely take one. Not too well, but he definitely can. Right there, it's going to do about maybe 70, after leftovers, probably close to 60%. So that's a lot, but I could go for a Flamethrower, or Roar, or Will-O-Wisp. I can do anything here. I got a lot of options. I got a Roar. I can roar him out because I thought it would be very likely to go into Vaporeon. Actually, I roar him out into Vaporeon, so that's no good. And then a sudden realization hits me. That Paralyze is actually pretty good. That means I can switch into Tangrowth. That means he can't get burned with a Scald. I get a free switch into Vaporeon whenever I want it. Yes!
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
Thankfully, I had the ability to just totally overturn what I previously said about Tangrowth's Parahax. It's like a new Tuck rule or something. So anyways, I'm going to go into Empoleon. Yes, I just wanted to scout for the Ice Beam, but he obviously doesn't have it. Even if he had it, though, I would have taken it really well since it was AV. At the same time, I also wanted to try to get Rocks up, keep offensive pressure on his team. That's my goal here. Keep him on the defensive. And that's what I think I've been doing decently well so far, anyways. I'm going to set up the Stealth Rocks. He goes for the Body Slam. That's fine. I just hope he doesn't get Para. It wouldn't be cool if he did, but I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world. We'll see what happens. Gonna switch out now. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go into Tangrowth because I think Tangrowth can deal with Snorlax decently well. Can't do a whole lot of damage to it, but it can take any hit it wants to go for. He goes for the Earthquake, which is good to know he has Earthquake, which means a lot of my team is actually kind of hit by Earthquake, so I just gotta be careful. I'm gonna get Parahax there. I know I just said it was a good thing, but yeah, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't have done too much damage with Leaf Storm, as you can see. It does. That was actually a crit, and it did 40%. maybe about 40%. So a non-crit would do a lot less. And I lose my special attack, so I'm going to go into Empoleon. He carries the rest. Oh man, this is not going to be fun. I need Cobalion to just completely threaten this Snorlax now. Good thing I brought Cobalion, because I thought he would bring Snorlax. I really did. And that's what Cobalion was for, to help deal with Snorlax. And it's very vital to this game. That realization hits now. I see that rest. He ends up going for Sleep Talk and gets Earthquake, unfortunately. I'm just going to roar him out because I'd like to roar him out while he's asleep. Unfortunately, that roar is going to bring him into Heliolisk, which I don't like very much because Water type versus Electric type. Not a fan of that. Gonna have to switch out. Gonna go into Tangrowth, which is AV. He can take anything this Heliolisk wants to go for, including that Thunderbolt, which does not much at all. And then his Heliolisk goes for a U-turn. That's pretty cool, actually, because in case I guess I brought Flygon. It was certainly on my mind, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Cool idea. Kudos to him for that. I'm gonna go for Leaf Storm. He goes into Skarm. I'm not a big fan of Skarm, but I know that I can put offensive pressure on him. He has to defog. There's no question about it. So that means I can go into something that can just totally counter the defog, or make use of Skarm's lack of offensive pressure, keeping him on the defensive. As I said, that was part of my game plan going into this game. Cobalion does that really, really well. I've got a surprise for you, Skarm. I'm gonna fake a spike of the football. Here, go show him, Dan Marino. Do it.
2:31, 30 seconds to go. I believe Marino is saying I'm going to spike it.
But the kick was never needed.
He's looking. He throws. Touchdown!
Ha! So Skarmory can't Whirlwind. I completely just caught him off guard. Crippled Skarm. He's going to have to switch, which is really, really nice. Goes into Vaporeon, which is even greater, because I get a Volt switch off. That does a nice chunk of damage, a good 40%. That's Life Orb and everything. Perfect. Cobalion, you're doing excellent so far. I'm going to go into Raikou. Keep offensive pressure going. That's all I have to do here. That Vaporeon's getting it. It's in a pretty critical range. I think even Mega Pinsir or maybe even a close combat would KO it from that range from Cobalion. I'm not sure, but it's definitely on the cusp. He's going to go into Heliolisk. Fine, I'm going to Volt Switch out of there, so that way I can go into something that can deal with Heliolisk much better. It's going to definitely be Tangrowth, because that's kind of the best answer I have to Heliolisk, and not only that, I can get an easy regenerator back. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to go back into Raikou, because I'm going to predict the U-turn, and since that thing is pitiful attack, I know I can take a U-turn really well. Raikou does that. Definitely. Not a lot of damage is done, and I'm going to have the ability to Volt Switch or do whatever I want. He goes into Snorlax. I'm not a fan of this Snorlax. Once again, this is going to be my biggest challenge. I got to get Cobalion in safely to a point where I can easily just close combat it for days. I am going to go for that Volt Switch. That Snorlax is probably... No, it is going to go for Sleep Talk, no doubt. I'm going to go into Tangrowth because since I'm already paralyzed, the Body Slam isn't really going to do anything. If he gets it, Earthquake does nothing. Certainly, I just got to keep this Snorlax in check, and Tangrowth does that best. I'm going to switch out now. I'm going to go into Empoleon, because I'd like to maybe try to get my rocks back up or do something like that. If I can't, or I get paralyzed, if I have to fodder Empoleon at a certain point, I'm okay with that. If that gives me a free switch into Cobalion, I would probably be okay with that. I'm going to switch out now, predicting the EQ, because obviously I want to keep Empoleon at least for now. I will probably have to fodder it later, but for now, Tangrowth can take the EQ, no problem. Body Slam's going my way, that's totally fine. I'm gonna get Parahacks, okay. Parrot's not looking very good, but at least it gave some confidence going into Vaporeon there, and it still can, if needed, for the rest of the game. I'm gonna get a Leaf Storm off this turn, that's fine. He's gonna go for an EQ. That's, once again, I'm totally fine with that. He predicted Empoleon. I actually get paralyzed, which was actually probably a good thing, because I think I went for a move I haven't revealed yet. So I'm going to go into Empoleon this time. He makes a good play. Predicts that, and goes for the Earthquake. That does a lot. Empoleon's definitely on his last leg here. Unfortunately, the Snorlax is going to outspeed and just go for an Earthquake. Oh well. Empoleon, I appreciate your valiant efforts in this match. You did everything you could, and I appreciate it. Now I can get my safe switch into Cobalion. Now's the time when I can go for a close combat. Gonna go for it on the Vaporeon. It's gonna crit all that health down. That's a dead Vaporeon and a touchdown, flying into the end zone.
Play clock is down to 1. Here comes the rush. Schaub steps up. Schaub throwing on the move, up in the air. It's caught by Johnson. Touchdown.
Whew. After that kind of a touchdown, man. Wow. Getting Vaporeon out of the way. That crit really probably didn't matter much because I definitely could have just gone for another attack right after that. So, probably didn't matter. Maybe it would have KO'd anyways. I'm not sure. I didn't run a damage calc. But anyways, I'm going to Volt Switch out on this Mega Mawile. It's going to do a nice amount of damage. I'm going to go into my very solid check to Mega Mawile, and that's Entei. Gonna be able to Roar or Flamethrower because I carry Flamethrower because I know it hits Mega Mawile better because, well, it is a weaker special defense and it hits Skarmory. I actually do go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I think that was probably my better play. If you went into Snorlax, now it's burned and I have to force him to go for a rest, which is great. That's really awesome. So I can go switch into Cobalion because I really don't care if I take a burned Earthquake. That's not a big deal. He goes for the rest. Alright, that's fine. Once again, that's what I wanted him to do. I still have the element of a close combat, so I can definitely go for that if I wanted to. I go for the taunt, predicting the Skarm to come in, and I knew also I could taunt to stop any sleep talking. So that's good that I got it off on the Skarm. I go into Raikou. I hard switch because I predicted right here that he was going to go into Landorus. One of the predictions of the game right there. I knew he was going to do that. So, Landorus is sitting here, Raikou's sitting here, I can go for an HP Ice. He's gonna switch, he wants to scout to see if I have the HP Ice, or if I'm like the event one. I do go for the HP Ice, because there's no reason to overpredict. It doesn't do much to Heliolisk. That's okay, not the end of the world. I'm gonna switch out, because, honestly, I'm not sure what he's going to do. I could have maybe Volt Switched right there, but I wasn't sure if he was Scarved or something. If he was Scarved, then that was not good for Raikou. He goes for Hyper Voice on my AV Tangrowth, and then goes for a U-turn right after. It's just going to do a bit of damage between both moves, but I'm still sitting okay. He goes into Mega Mawile. I go for the EQ. This is amazing. Another touchdown.
Touchdown! All right, real good! All right! All right, come on!
I know it didn't KO. I know. But I just needed that thing down to where it can't sub anymore, and I got it check and mate. I basically can hit it with anything at this point, and I still have a lot to deal with it here. I'm going to switch into Entei. He goes for a Play Rough. I take that Play Rough really well, for sure. I'm going to be sitting at 75%. He's going to switch, which is fine. I'm going to Roar him out. Goes into Snorlax, which I kind of thought would happen. That's why I went for the Roar. He's going to be roared back out into Mega Mawile. Now, this is a moment of truth right here. I'm not sure if he's going to go for the Focus Punch or switch again. Unfortunately, I don't go for the Flamethrower. I opt to Roar, and whoa, look at that. Whoa! Okay, sorry, Entei, you got knocked into next week. Not all is lost in this game, for sure. I can get a safe switch into Cobalion, which can KO this Mega Mawile with anything. I actually go for the Zen Headbutt, because if he went into Landorus, that probably would have done the most damage compared to everything else, and I don't want my defenses lowered. So, he is going to go into Landorus now. I'm not a fan of that, so I have to go into Tangrowth. It's gonna be tough to deal with it at half health, but I know I can at least take an Earth Power for days, and I can go switch out again if I need to. That would be good. I'm going to do that, as I said. I'm going to go into Raikou, because I know I can take a Sludge Wave, because I thought that would be likely. Maybe a U-turn, either or. I can take either. He does go for the U-turn, and it's going to do a little bit. Not too much. I'm sitting at about half. Raikou's sitting strong. He's building up confidence. He's going to be ready for this game, for sure. Snorlax is here. I'm not a fan of Snorlax at all. I don't know why I would be. This thing is a pain to deal with. I go for the Volt Switch. I'm going to get a little bit of chip damage. That's totally cool. I'm going to go into the Red Baron, because the Red Baron's actually blue. It's a Mega Pinsir, obviously. He goes for Sleep Talk, and he's going to get the bodies. No, he gets the Earthquake. Doesn't get the Body Slam. But the Earthquake's not going to do much to Pinsir, and that's why I went into it, because I knew at this point, since I could just scare the Snorlax away, but with a close combat or a return, I knew he would go into Skarm here. That it's his only Mega Pinsir counter on his entire team. So, that's why I go into double switch into Cobalion, predicting that, and I go for the taunt, because he's going to try to roost. I just defy him right there and go to Volt Switch off. That does over half. Cobalion, you're doing excellent this game. I'm going to switch out, and...
3 corners! 3! Malcolm, go!
Big switch into Raikou right here. Here he is. moment of truth. Is he going to go into the Landorus after this? I don't know what I'm thinking about this move really hard. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'd like to go for the Volt Switch and predict the Skarmory to stay in. That would be a big prediction to turn around this game, to make it in my favor completely. I do go for the Volt Switch. He stays in. Skarm is gone.
Wilson extends the hands he has. Wilson, quick throw. And it's intercepted! Intercepted by the Butler!
That Skarm is no longer around to harass my Mega Pinsir. Good job, Malcolm Butler Raikou. I think that's what your name is. It must be, because you saved the game right there by getting rid of that Skarmory right there. Now I can go into Mega Pinsir later and just not even fear it at all. I could just spam returns or do whatever I want. He gets an Earth Power off on Tangrowth, which is at well over half health. He gets the Sludge Wave off, that's fine. I'm going to go for a Leaf Storm, because Leaf Storm will KO at this health anyways, in case he switched into Heliolisk or something to take an HP Ice.
Boom, shakalaka.
That's basically his last major threat out of the way. It's Snorlax and Heliolisk versus Mega Pinsir, Tangrowth, Raikou, and Cobalion. I'm going to go into my Pinsir, my Mega Pinsir. Hasn't Mega Evolved yet. He gets a Sleep Talk off. He gets the Body Slam, okay. No para, no... Oh, he gets a crit! Which is kind of bad, because now I don't think Mega Pinsir can take another one. If he didn't get that crit, I could have lived 2. I guess it's better than a para, though. I can get the return off, and that does a lot of damage. That puts Snorlax in KO range by pretty much anything. So, even though Mega Pinsir got a lot of damage, got hit by Body Slam really hard, at least it got it down to where Thunderbolt from Raikou can KO it, and this game can be mine. If Mega Pinsir got that KO, it might have been able to have been like a 3-0 game, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. This is certainly a move that I gotta make. I gotta go for Thunderbolt with Raikou, see how much it does. It doesn't do very much. He gets a Hyper Voice off. Raikou lives with 3. That's critical to this game. I'm gonna get some lefties back. Volt Switch out of there because I need Raikou. I'm gonna go with the safest way to win this game. I'm gonna fodder off Cobalion. Cobalion, thank you for your valiant efforts this game. You were second MVP behind Raikou for sure. You had a major impact on this game. I'm going to go into Raikou again. Get a Volt Switch off. More chip damage. Just so I can get that thing into red health. Gonna go into Tangrowth now. Because Tangrowth, it will be able to take one hit, but it's going to be basically fodder at this point. The Hyper Voice is definitely going to do quite a bit of damage, even with the AV. I wish I had just a little bit more health that I could have taken too, but that's okay. Gonna go back into Raikou, get a final hit off for this game, and we haven't even seen it yet. He's still exerting pressure. Raikou is gonna win the game for us. This is a huge 1-0 win by 13 HP for the LA Nidokings. We did it, guys. We did it. We beat the best team in the league. So now we're 4-1 with +5 differential. We're technically still second in our division because Gubs has a higher differential than I do, but that's okay. This was an excellent game. Thank you, Gubs. I really enjoyed it. It was also 58 minutes long in live time, so yeah, it was a lot of fun, definitely. So, today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Earl Thomas of the Seattle Seahawks. So, Mr. Thomas, after such a long game, how do you feel about us walking away with a victory?
God. Incredible. Oh no. We never gave up. We fought. Man, football, bro, it's awesome. The God is so good. You don't get no better than this, man.
That's a quality I admire in this team. They never do give up. Specifically, Mr. Thomas, how about Raikou's performance? He didn't have a good start to the season, but had a big day today. Do you have any comments on that?
You saw all the bad plays, but he overcame that, just like we did. We had injuries, my shoulder coming. We warriors, man. We love what we do. We're going to always fight and protect it.
Right. That all makes sense, man. So, what are you thinking about going into next week?
determined eyes. Man, we've been here before. This road is sweet, the journey, ups and downs. We just love that. We focus on us. You talk about fire, like it's burning in us. We love this. We love what we do. We love playing here at CenturyLink.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for your remarks about this week's game. This was an excellent week, no doubt about it. It's always great to prove the haters wrong, but we have to keep going. Next up, we've got Kote of the Toronto Maple Leafeons. On paper, his team is filthy good and very synergetic. That doesn't matter. You know what? On paper means nothing in a league like this. All that matters is that I have the master game plan set and that we take home a victory. Bring on the rain. I'll set fire to the rain. Be ready for a fireworks show next week. See you next week.